So James, let's look back at Saturday's game against Alloa to begin with. It was a great way to kick off the league campaign, 3 points and a clean sheet at home in front of a big crowd, so you must be really delighted with the way the first weekend went.
Yeah, it was, and when you look back, I might be a game or two out here, but I believe it took 14 games last season to get our first league victory. Is that right, yeah?
Around that, yeah.
Yeah, and as a player, going back to when I was a player as a manager, the first game of the season is really important, and you want to get 3 points on the board quickly, or as quick as you can in a season, because the longer it goes, the more you worry about it, and then you start looking where's the 3 points going to come from. And to get it in the first weekend of the season is great. It's not to say we rest on that. We got the 3 points, we got off to a good start, as you say, with a crowd that really did help us on the day. And it now moves us on to Edinburgh. We forget about it. That's the first 3 points, you tick it off, you move on. And we go to Edinburgh. It's going to be a tough test when we go to a game that's their first home game in the league, in their new ground, or their new pitch anyway, and redeveloped ground at Meadowbank. So, but no, it's important to get the first 3 points on the board quickly. And I don't like going back to last season, but it took us a while last season, and at Dundee, where I was previously managing, and there were games we should have won in that, but then you get to a point where you're looking, where is the 3 points going to come from, because you start doubting yourself. So we're desperate to get off to a really good start, and that's all credit to the players, because it wasn't the prettiest of games, I'll admit that. We weren't as fluent as we were the week before, where we created umpteen chances. We could have won 3 games of football, some really good stuff, but I think what we saw on Saturday was that we can grind out a victory as well. When even the games are a wee bit tighter, we stood firm defensively. Yeah, they had a couple of chances, every team's going to have that, but we get our goal, we hang on, and it's a great 3 points to start the campaign. But it's a start, that's all it is.
Just touching on what you were saying there regarding maybe the difference in performances over the last 2 weekends against Alloa. Obviously getting the 3 points is the main thing. Every game this season is the performance, that cherry on the top for you, or is that something we have to aspire to get to as well as getting 3 points? There has to be a performance every week as well.
Yeah, I think the performance leads to results. That's the way I've always looked at it. Now you get the odd game where you can be so off the pace and bad on the night or the day afternoon and still win the game, but that you don't get away with that too often. So we want a consistent level of performance. And yeah, even when we're really good, like we were against Alloa the week before, we didn't win that game. We drew it, and it goes to penalties, of course, but the message we try and get across to the players is keeping the consistency and level of performance high, and by doing that then we'll win more games than we won't. But you take the odd one when it's not so good, you take the 3 points and you're happy with it. But yeah, we want to create a culture here and a standard here that the fans are coming and expecting, and then when it is games like that, they just see us knuckle down, we roll the sleeves up and we battle to find a way to win a game, and that's what we've done on Saturday.
The goal, of course, came from a cross. How important are they in a game of football for the tactics that you're looking to deploy? Is it about getting guys like Matty Todd, Josh Edwards, Kyle McDonald and coming into those forward positions, getting the ball into the box early? Is that the kind of message you're giving those players?
Yeah, look, it's asking teams to defend. That's what we're trying to do. Look, we're getting to areas, and I don't know if it's the way football has went, and it's great to watch Manchester City and teams like that, the way Pep does it, and they play this free-flowing, brilliant football. But let's be honest, they're unique. There's maybe only 1 or 2 teams that can play like that and get away with doing that, and they've got world-class players all throughout their pitch. But our belief is, how often can we make a team defend? How many questions can we ask them? And how long can they defend for? And again, we believe with doing that at some point you're going to get a chance out of it, because it'll switch off, or the more questions you ask of them. Being an ex-defender, it's hard to defend for 94 minutes when teams will just keep putting balls in your box, when teams are putting balls down the side of you. That's not to say we don't want to play either. There's some really good bits of play over pre-season, over with the Premier Sports Cup, and then there were little bits of good play in the Alloy game as well. But no, we want to be a team that put balls into the box, but it's got to be at the right times. Set plays are massive, as you know. I keep going on about them. That's something that we're so big on. But yeah, how can we hurt teams and crossings away hurting teams, because they've got to defend it, and then we've got targets in that box. It can go and go on the end of it as well. So there's loads of ways and there's loads of things we work on. But yeah, it's certainly getting the ball in the other team's box quickly, playing forward quickly, and being aggressive in 1v1s. That doesn't mean going and smashing people. That means facing your opponent up, attacking 1v1s and going and getting at them. Can we dribble past them, and can we get balls in the box? So no, the boys have been great and they're buying into it.
So let's look a little bit more at FC Edinburgh. I know you've touched on them already in their first home game, redeveloped stadium. Their fans will be up for it. Their players will be looking to get off to a good start on their home patch as well. So we know how tough a game it'll be, but we're going into it with confidence.
Yeah, we are. Look, and so will they be. They had a good result last weekend as well, so they're looking to go and get another good result. It's their home pitch. They'll be wanting to win all their home games. Like I know Alan and Mark Kerr, and I certainly know Liam Fontaine, who I'm really close with, so good signing for them. It's going to be a tough game. We're under no illusions. The pitch is not an excuse. I'll never use it as an excuse. It's the same for both of us. Would I love to be playing out there? Absolutely, because that's immaculate. Plus we have our own fans there watching us, but you've got to go away from home. You've got to deal with these games, and the pitch will be fine, but we've got to go and put on a performance that's worthy of our football club, and if we do that, I believe we'll come away with a positive result.
And in terms of just away games in general, as you say, it's going to be a totally different environment and situation from East End Park. Is that kind of the mental side of preparations in the week, that maybe you need to make sure that the players are ready to go into those different kinds of environments where there's maybe going to be less of a Dunfermline support, and maybe the smaller grounds and things like that, and just get them up for the match and make sure that they're 100% ready to go in all environments, in all scenarios?
Nah, they know they need to be, or they'll not be in the team the following week. It's as simple as that. No matter where we go, whether we're playing here, whether we're playing FC Edinburgh, whether we're playing Falkirk in a derby, whether we draw Celtic in the Scottish Cup, they've got to be 100% every single week. They've got to give that effort, because they won't fool us, and they'll be straight out of the team. That's as ruthless as we can be, but they're not that type. They're going to go there, they'll be well prepared. They've all played in games like this, and let's not talk down Edinburgh too much, because they've spent a lot of money on Meadowbank. They're an ambitious club. I had a couple of conversations with their owner, and the ones I have had with him, he's come across really well. I've been really impressed by him. So they're trying to build something there, and they'll be looking to do what Kelty have done and what Queen's Park have done going forward, and get themselves Cove, and get themselves through the division. So it's going to be a real tough game, and if we underestimate them, we'll come away with nothing. That's what happened, but I can assure you we'll certainly not be underestimating them, and if any of them are, then it'll quickly be noticed, and they'll not be on the pitch.
And just in terms of team news, how are we looking ahead of Saturday?
Good, yeah. Nothing fresh from the weekend. Yeah, nothing fresh for the weekend. Obviously Chris is still suspended. This is his final game, a 2-game ban, and we'll have him back in contention next week. So everyone else is as it was last week.
And in terms of yourself this week, you've been delighted to meet the supporters groups with David Cook in the boardroom, and you were really happy that event took place and what came out of it.
Yeah, it was excellent. It really was, and it was only maybe I think there were 8 or 9 representatives from all different either supporters clubs or foundations, whatever it was, and it was refreshing just to sit down and speak to them. And I want to buy into the history of this club as well. I want to get to know as much as I can. I want to be as involved and a part of this football club. That's what, when I come into a club, I give them all. Like, I throw myself right into it, and it's good to get points of view from supporters clubs, from people that are ambassadors to certain different things, and it genuinely was, and it was a good meeting, and it was good to sit and listen to the ideas, and it's something that I want to do more frequently, and I know the club want to do that with the communication, and I'm willing to do it, because I come away from it again really refreshed, just with how much this club means to so many people, and how proud those people are of this football club and what they're wanting it back to. And at the minute they've been great with me. Now I'm under no illusion that changes as a manager. You go through bad spells when supporters got on your back, and that's part of being a manager. Look, that's fine, I can deal with that. But so far it's been excellent. We're early on in what we're trying to do. We're still trying to strengthen, and we're working on that. But no, so far it's been excellent. The working relationships that I've got with Thomas and with David, and then having Dave McPake coming in, obviously allowing that, we've got Alan Mains in. Like, we've got a really good group in there. I hope I've not missed them out, that I probably have. But the group of staff, Martin Hartley's in it, who we had at Dundee as well, and there's a right bond in there, and it's difficult because it's the first time I've come into a new club as a manager. At Dundee I knew everyone, and I wasn't quite sure how people would take me, how it would work, the dynamics, but no, it's been fantastic, and I've got that wee buzz for being back in football. I spoke openly at the meeting. I probably wasn't bothered about getting back in as soon as I did, but when this came up I had to jump at it, and it was wee meetings like that where I go, you know what, I made the right decision, because there's a real desire here from everyone to pull together and do well, whether that's the ground staff to give us the best pitch we can have, Marie in the canteen to give us the best food we can have, if it's the media department to get the best messages out that we can to the fans, to show what we're trying to do, and if it's higher up than me to give me the best chance of succeeding, then that's what we're all trying to do. But we also know where we are, and we have to be patient. But no, it's been excellent so far, and I'm looking forward to the next meeting, yeah.